to be here today. Want to talk with you all about beans, chard, and everything else. Okay, and why you should get started today. Listen, if you are growing food, you always have something to eat. I'm Dr. Eve, everyone, your community health and human service educator, gone homesteading and agriculture. So I'm really excited to be here with you today. Um, I know that it's Thanksgiving and that a lot of you are traveling, but one of the things that's really vital, if you, no matter what type of business you're in, and that is to be consistent, right? To show up when you say you're gonna show up, right? So I don't have much for lunch today because instead of doing lunch, I went and I found that there were some beans growing and I picked some beans. And so I have to go out, and so I'm going to be picking up lunch while I'm out today. So just wanted to come in really quick and have really quick conversation about why you should be getting started now. Okay. Yesterday we talked about a lot of things. It was a really exciting live, and we also talked about the importance of agriculture and how so many are leaving money on the table. When I say that, first of all, you should be growing food so that you can keep more of your money. And then you should be growing food so that you can produce a business, okay? Because people forget that it's a whole business over here. Agriculture is a whole business. But first and foremost, we want you to be developing the skills and the knowledge to be able to grow where you are with what you have so that you can continue to feed your family. I went to the market yesterday and it blew me away to see that a jar of mayonnaise was $5. I was taken aback by that. And I know it's hard, but where did mayonnaise start being $5? Salad dressing start being $5? You know, if we are smart, we can stop making their supplies a demand. So let me be clear. Let's stop making their supplies a demand and grow our own food. You might say, well, Dr. Eve, I don't have a place to grow food. When I first started growing food years ago, I had land. It was just my home. But then I had a townhouse, and I didn't have soil. I didn't have a backyard. I didn't have any of those things. And so, what I did, because I was so determined, was anything that I could put dirt in, I grew in it. And I'm going to put together a little clip so y'all can see how I was growing food in bags, in boots, in baby swimming pools, and whatever I could grow it in. And now, because I am perfecting my ability to grow, um, it's turned and evolved into something, morphed into something beautiful. But to the question of I don't have a place to grow right now, I encourage you, if you're new anyway, to start with bags because you don't know what your sun patterns are, right? And by that, I mean my first year in my home, I studied the sun. Like I studied, you know, where it is and what time of day because there are certain things that you grow that needs to be in full sun. There's some things that needs to be in shade. And so I'm going to be talking with you all about the sun and the shade and things that grow in the spring and the fall and things that grow right now. I want to make sure I'm clear that you can. I just picked these 5 minutes ago. Beans. You always have something to eat when you are growing food. Now, my palate is used to eating it right off the vine. Okay? My palate is used to fresh food. So if you ask me what I'm having for lunch, let me share something with you. These came from a bag of store-bought beans. The kind you buy in a bag. Me and my granddaughter, we did a test. We took white navy beans. I think it was white, some kind of white navy beans. And we took them and put them in the yard. And we were just testing because we wanted to have some cover crop. We wanted to have some cover crop. And the cover crop, this is the cover crop. The cover crop is green and beautiful and growing all over stuff, but it's producing beans. If you're here, say hello. What are you having for lunch? And where are you coming in? Where are you chiming in from? But I wanted to share that because this is today's lunch. I have my hair tied up today, y'all, because I'm going out. Not because I'm going out, but because I just wanted it out my face today. Okay. So, anyway, how do I get started? Again, I took these and look, I just told you that I put some beans out of a bag of beans in my cabinet and put them in the ground. Them same beans they got y'all buying at the store, just them same beans, okay? You always have, when you grow food, you always have something to eat. And what I discovered is I put some of these around my peach tree and my mandarin orange because I wanted their root system to be covered because of the cold. Like when it begins to get cold, you want your fruit trees to be protected. My banana is in the greenhouse coming up out of the ground, and eventually it's going to go through the roof, but it's okay. The important thing is for me to help it to sustain and not keep dying back year after year. And so I went out there today, just wanted to take a picture of what was happening, found these beans, my chard is doing good, everything is beautiful. What can you grow in the winter time? Oh my goodness, so many things. And let me just share with you. Number one, you can grow them good collards, okay? You can grow them good collards, and you can grow so many of them, and then you can take them and you can blanch them and put them in the freezer. You can even freeze dry them. Did you not know that? You can freeze dry raw, you can freeze dry cooked. And I'm going to be talking with you all about, the importance of, buying equipment that will help you to preserve the food that you grow as well. But let's talk about what's growing right now. In my yard, here in Zone 8, in my homestead, what's growing is these beans, which I just found, which were an experiment. Chard, I have put calendula. Did you know that you can make oil out of calendula? Did you know that you can make skin cream? I was telling y'all yesterday how many ways did I use Roselle. So you can pick something that you like and grow that something. Or you can test something and grow whatever you want, right? The most important thing is to get started. So these beans, chard, calendula. I have spinach. I have an overabundance of lettuce. I have cabbage. I have broccoli, collards, kale, herbs, um, Brussels sprouts. Um, my roselle is still out there doing well. What else is out? All kinds of herbs. Lavender will go all through the winter. It won't die at all. Listen, I have never seen a plant that I have never seen a plant that lives and tolerates all the weather conditions like lavender. So there are a lot of carrots, beets. I got carrots and beets, and I have pigeon peas. So many things, and I harvest the seeds. I still have stevia, which I got to get the seeds today. Grab them seeds. I have so many zinnia seeds. I'm like, whoa. Let me show y'all something. This was 2 bulbs. I only did 2. I said, my goodness, there's so many seeds from those zinnias. And I have to, I, I'm probably going to sell some of these, you know. Why? Because I can. It's the agricultural business. You go and they sell it to you, right? They sell it to you. You can redo it and sell it to somebody else. And so it's really important to get started and grow food for your family because we don't have to settle and make their supplies our demand. And when you are making purchases, make sure that, hey, how are you doing? Make sure that you are buying things that have seeds in them. You know, like I told you, this was one watermelon. How many watermelons is it going to make? Every one of these is another watermelon plant. One plant produced 4. I got 4 watermelons. I probably could have got more, but they were in the wrong place. But these are the seeds. So how many more? How much more can I get, right? Abundance, right? So I want you all to really be thinking, and those of you who are really truly interested in preparing for another season of elevation for your family, creating your own supermarket and maybe perhaps moving into the industry. If you are already selling personal care products, if you are already, um, what are some other things I want to share with you? If you are already, let me give you a list. If you are already, let me give you a list of the agricultural products overview, okay? Because I want y'all to be in the know. Okay. So if you are in the industry of these things right here, crops, livestock, aquaculture, forestry, timber, if you grow trees, firewood, horticulture, plants, fruits, vegetables, beverages, teas, coffees, grapes, wine, crops that come from industrial use, all these things, if you are doing any of these things that produce, textiles, produce food and beverages, textiles and clothing, health and wellness, home and cleaning, industrial and energy, craft and decorative, pet and animal, then you are in an agricultural business. Anything that derives from natural resources called agriculture, and then you are in an agricultural business. But what happens is many don't see, they just see their business. They don't see where it derived from, which is thereby leaving billions of dollars on the table. Good morning from Brazil. Welcome to the space. And so if you are in these industries, then you are essentially in a farm, in an agricultural farming type industry. And you need to begin the process of positioning yourself for your farm ID, farm funding. Let me tell you why. I got an email yesterday because I am connected with my FDA, my local FDA, and they wanted to inform us of funding, emergency funding that's coming out that's available. So I want to share that with you because I need you to understand that this is serious business. Um, that when we don't properly position our businesses, then we leave billions of dollars of access to billions of dollars on the table. I am actually looking for that email that I received yesterday from Pick. Here it is, USDA in North Carolina. So I get this email from them, and if you are on their newsletter in your area, then you will get a newsletter. Just check out your county USFDA department. And they give you a list of dates and reminders of things that are happening so that you can stay abreast and connect and network with the people in the agricultural industry. It gives, and one thing that I thought found very interesting about it was the eligibility for emergency loans. Pitt County was declared a primary disaster county due to droughts and excessive heat that occurred from May 1st to July 31st. We were also declared a primary disaster county due to excessive rain and tropical storm Debbie that occurred from July 1st to August 31st. So even weather conditions make provision for income. Under these designations, if you have any operations in any primary or contiguous county, you are eligible to apply for low interest emergency loans. Now, say for example, like I came back from Africa, but when I came back from Africa, there was so much rain while I was in Africa that my yard was sitting this deep. We have a low water table. So everything in my yard gets plenty of water. Plenty of water. So the excessive water thing, what's OF? So the excessive water thing would make me eligible for a low interest emergency loan through the FDA. But mind you, I have to also have my farm ID to access these funds, right? So positioning yourself to make sure that you are classified agriculture will be helpful. And then they went on to say emergency loans help you to recover from production and physical losses. Let me say that again. Helps you recover from production and physical losses. So that's both your ability to produce and anything that you lost due to drought, flooding, and other natural disasters or quarantines. I need y'all to understand that there is access to funding that you can have, and for the love of God, everyone should be growing some food right now. You can't hear me? Happy birthday, Invisivibes! Same to you. We're talking about how agricultural and growing food and all of these things have such great benefits. Because even if you were growing it for yourself and you have a farm and now you have an overflow and you want to start selling a particular crop and you have a farm number which is free, right? These are the loans that I got this newsletter yesterday, received this newsletter yesterday that said that because of drought, Okay. Because of drought and because of rain, there we are now eligible for these loans. Low interest emergency loans. And this is if you are recovering from production or physical loss due to drought, flooding, or and other natural disasters. Y'all better get with the program because there's money out here and available for y'all. But you have to position yourself for it. So get to growing for your family, y'all. Get to growing. You might decide that it's this I love growing food, and now look what I can do with the food. I can create body butters. I can create, or I can get, be in right alignment with another team of people. They might grow the food. I might be able to grow a specific type of herb that goes really well with that type of community package, and we both winning. Everybody winning. You see what I'm saying? So they went on to say, you have 8 months from the date of the declaration to apply for emergency loan assistance. FSA will consider each loan application on its own merits, taking into account the extent of losses, security available, and repayment ability. You can borrow up to 100% of actual production. So you should be saving all your receipts. I save all my receipts. Because, baby, I like to write stuff off on my taxes, okay? Like everybody else. So you can borrow up to 100% of actual production or physical losses to a maximum amount of $500,000. So what was your original intent? Like, were you planning on growing um, a certain amount of square feet? What type of product? What would have been the outcome? What have been, because when you talk about production, you're talking about the everything to produce, the dirt, the soil, the equipment. You're talking about everything that you use to produce. Then you're talking about what's lost. The potential loss how is the amount of what you would have grown, the expected amount of what you would have grown. So then that's when you pull out your calc. Okay? That's when you pull out your calculator. Okay? And do them numbers. But if you stay here long enough, I'm going to teach you some things. Okay? So, what else did I discover on my newsletter from yesterday from the USDA? Flexibility for disaster assistance programs. They're talking about, in addition to RMA's federal crop insurance flexibilities, FSA has added flexibilities to several programs. A full list of FSA disaster assistance programs is available on the Hurricane webpage. So if you're not connected to that, I'm gonna leave that in the description box. I'm gonna leave the information to farmers.gov, because I'm for those of you who don't know, I'm a community health and human service education. So we provide and connect you to the things that you need to have for the things that you need that you're doing in your life. Okay. So I will put the links to that. Also, I will put the links to the emergency forest restoration program and emergency conservation program, because those are all resources that you need to have. And for those of you who don't know, I have a membership program that is coming up, and I have a library on my website. But it's huge. And so I only give access to that. That's for membership only. Membership only. I haven't given it a price, but it's probably gonna be like maybe $12.99 a month. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking because of the amount of resources that I actually have and access to all 198 embassies and their resources as well. It is a bountiful. When I say it is a resource, my library, it was designed for me because I don't like to keep looking for stuff. So I put it on my website in my library, so I'm always able to access what I'm looking for. So when I find new resources, I put it in there for my members. Also, Another thing they were talking about was livestock producers receive second emergency livestock relief program for those who grow livestock. What's livestock? Rabbits, chickens, goats, all the stuff. I got some chickens. I have some chickens, okay? That's livestock. So when you're homesteading, and I'm about to go get some quail, so you can grow what you want, but just know that there is a lot of access to resources, and I want you to know about them. So there are going to be some new beginner's guide to crop insurance. I will leave that link up as well for you to have. So the most important thing is that you, number one, I want to be able to educate you on the things that are available. I want to be able to educate you on how to begin. Like I said, y'all, these was from a bag. These was from a bag of beans I bought from the grocery store. 99 cent. 99 cent bag of beans. And this is what I have growing in my yard now. I didn't think they were gonna grow to give me any peas. I thought I was using them as a cover crop just to cover my ground so that give my ground some nitrogen, keep my beds good and ready to grow. But while I'm keeping my beds good and ready to grow, it's still producing food. So another thing that you can put out in it now too is wheat, fava beans, all kinds of things that you can grow. Um, and we're going to be pushing the needle. Grains is another thing. Um, wow, I'm just blown away at the number of ways that we can feed our families. We can feed our families just by going back to what our ancestors knew, and that's called farming. Okay? Our ancestors knew about farming. The problem is because we resented the fact that we were held hostage to do those things or enslaved to do those things, we decided we don't want to do that no more. But look at what they're doing to us. Who's being affected the most by these prices? All of us. But I think the middle class is being affected even more because if you're eligible and you probably some people have food stamps. But we not eligible for food stamps, which means that we fall through the donut hole. That way, as you raise prices, and more money comes out of our pockets. So I want to be clear about that too, that it's very critical that we grow food in this season. It's very critical that we get past the emotions of I'm not digging in no dirt or that's not my forte, but more of your money could be used elsewhere while you learn to, you know, get into this. It's mentally healthy. It's mentally healthy to grow food, to see the harvest in your yard, to see that you can grow fruit trees, and your body will thank you later because what's growing outside, what they're growing is are the things that you hear people talking about now. They're talking about, the dangers of the food that is growing out here. And when you are growing your own food, you know what's in it, right? Can you help me with English? So, yeah, so do you know that there is a translation app, right, that you can get so that if you're listening to someone, you can get it translated. Right, Brittany? We not we not playing anymore about these efforts, right? So again, let me tell you, I'm gonna say this to you one more time. This was a bag of beans that I took out of my cabinet. 99 cent. I ain't the 99 cent bag of beans. You don't speak much English. If you keep coming here and keep listening to English speakers, you will get better and better at it. And there are apps also that can help you with that. depending on what your language is, from your text to speech, or you could get what I'm saying translated to your language. There is an app that you can use, and I will learn some more about that for you. Okay, so you can learn more, because I'm an educator, and so I want to make sure that you all are getting what you need. Can you help me help you with Portuguese? I don't have a desire to learn Portuguese. I only speak one language, as a matter of fact. And that's English. I tried. I just don't do well with other languages. I think it was just hard enough for me to understand English. Speak English in an academic tone. I speak English in a relational tone, because here you want to have a relationship with people. You don't want to be using academic verbiage um, that's over people's heads, and they don't understand a thing about what you're saying. You want to learn English for work? Try to look up some second English as a second language programs. They have them right here on the internet. They right here at your fingertips, right here in YouTube. As a matter of fact, this is YouTube education, whether you know it or not. I learned a lot of what I know from YouTube. Outside of school now, I take everything I learned in school and I come over here and I teach it. Okay, because why? People want to know. I pay for it. Whatever I pay for, I have the ability to teach. I'm qualified to teach it, okay? But I'm going to teach it in a relational way, because the most important thing about anything that you do, if you have a desire to start something, then you need to um, build relationships. You need to build relationships. That's my number one teaching goal, is to teach others how to build the relationships online. Because even if you started a business, now, most important thing I want you to take away is that when you start growing food, grow for your family. Grow, grow with the idea of growing for your family first, okay? Because that's the goal, number one goal is growing for your family, growing so you have safe food, growing your own supermarket, right? Growing something that you can leave for your children. Your orchards, your trees, your oranges, bananas, and blackberries and raspberries, and your roselle and your fruits and strawberries and whatever. I had cantaloupe and watermelon. All of those things, most of them come back. They come back. And like I said, I have 20, 30, 32 new trees that I propagated that's going to go in the ground soon. So that's an abundant harvest of blackberries. I'll probably be overwhelmed with blackberries, but give them here, because it's good for you. It's good berries. It's talking. It's food to eat. Okay, it's always food to eat that your body actually is going to love. Okay, so keep that number one thing goal in mind. Other objectives along the way could be to master a particular type of food, so that you could start the egg business. Get into the egg business anyway, because people need what you have when you are growing things. You might grow it and say, well, I want to, I got some rosé. I want to make some peaches. I want to make some peach preserves. You could preserve some for your family, but if you know how to really grow peaches, then you could go to farmers market with it. You could go to the farmers market. And so there are ways that you can grow food. People need it. That's why we need farmers markets. We don't have enough of them in my area. I was looking it up last night, and I'm actually appalled that there are very few farmers markets in this area. And flower cuts, I don't see that either. So I guess I'm gonna have to do it, right? because I believe in when there is a problem, then I am the solution. And so my goal is to get as many people engaged in this thing, in my community as well, so that they can start growing, so that we can have a farmers market once a month, or a farmers market, yeah, every other Saturday or every Saturday, where we can get together and come and buy. So I'm gonna have a farmers market right here on the corner lot of my property. Why? Because on this homestead, I can force it to have a farmers market because I live on a corner property. I wanted a corn. That was one of the ideal things when I was looking for homestead land. Okay. So for those of you out there who are also saying, well, I don't have a way to grow food, if you begin, if you go ahead and begin, then you are on your way to establishing the funding to put down on some homestead land. And I can show you how to find it, because you have a criteria when you're looking for land to grow food. There's a very specific criteria that you should be looking for in order to grow that food. You have to consider storms, you have to consider hurricanes, you have to consider the water tables, you have to consider um, um, things in the area, pollution. You have to consider environmental conditions, all of that when you're looking at buying homestead land. And once you find an area that is feasible for homesteading and growing food, then you look for the ugliest thing on the block, because the goal is you can rehab, you can build, you can redo. I think where we make the mistake as humans when we want to buy something is we buy thinking we got to buy glitz and gold, when the real goal is shelter and an ability to have land to grow food on, right? So as an investor, I have land, I have homes, I have investment properties, and so it's critical that you are in a space that can help you to get to that goal, because that's the biggest complaint that I hear from people is, I don't have a place to grow. Well, I need you to start right here so you can begin. If you don't have a place to grow, I need you to start with bags. Start with a crop that you can grow, that grows in your area. And if you keep hearing people say, this doesn't grow here or this doesn't grow here, but you're able to grow it, then baby, you got a product that's in demand. Did you know that you can grow in your house microgreens? Microgreens are in demand. Did you know that your local restaurants, if you get in partnership with a local restaurant, that you can grow the greens for them, or a special herb that they like, you can grow it for them versus them having to buy it, because they want to have fresh organic crops. Imagine that. So there are many reasons why you should begin, and you should begin now. So I'm not going to keep you long. I know that it's Thanksgiving. I'm going to see, not Thanksgiving, but I know that many of you are celebrating or with your families, but thank you for taking time to stop by here. I want to check the chat real quick to see who's been here, because I have not checked the chat. Acknowledge you. Who's here? Hello. Double tap and hit the like. Oh, yes, and please, y'all, hit the like and subscribe. Like and subscribe and hit the notification button. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of deets with you all. Um, Hello from Brazil. Exactly. Are you underwater? Why are you underwater? Arisa, Arya, Arya is 9226. Why are you underwater? Thank you, Javier. Very grown woman. And they wouldn't want no one to disrespect their mother this way. Thank you. Thank you, Invisible Vibes. I just hair wrap today. Y'all know I love hair wraps and pearls too. Happy birthday to you, dude. Happy birthday to you too. Brittany, thank you so much for coming into the space. I appreciate you. Is there anything that I can help you with? Anyone want to learn something in particular about starting a garden that I can help you with? Um, Basically, beginning just requires some soil, some good soil. Matter of fact, it don't even require that. You can hydroponic. You can hydroponic and grow your seeds. Once you get those roots started, hydroponic, grow in some water. How you gonna ask an English teacher that? Oh, I don't know what that means. Well, I just wanted to say thank you for coming into the live today. I hope that you learned something here. I never want to push my camera and um, have a live where you can't take something away. So I hope that the resources that I left here, that you can take those resources away with you so that you know how important it is that we get access to resources, right? One of my goals is to make sure that we have an equitable distribution of resources for our people. And so I'm going to leave the links to those things I talked about in this video. I'll put those links in there for you all so that you can begin to connect, you know. And I want you to, the next time I talk to you all, those of you who are interested, I want to know that you have connected to your FDA. All right. I want to, not FSA, I mean, your Farm Service Agency. I want to know that you have connected with your Farm Service Agency because your Farm Service Agency has a lot of resources. That is a department that is under the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Okay? And they have a lot of resources that can help you get started. So I will leave the link for that. Um, there's a lot of assistance programs up here, and that way, if you have questions when you come here, I don't know everything, but I'm learning. And as I learn, I will share. But, another thing is also taking a food safety program for specialty crops. I know my department is having one. I see one actually right here, y'all, on January 31st, 2025. That's a national food safety certification for specialty crops. And so those are some dates that we can put out there on our calendar. It is my hope I'm going to also develop a calendar for you all to download that's specifically food service, growing food, when things that grow in certain seasons, so that you all and we can keep up with that. And it will be a Google Doc. So if I'm gonna make a Google Doc, that way you can download it and we can put those dates. I'll keep it updated for different things that you can think about, because if you don't have a schedule, another thing that you want to do is get yourself a farmer's almanac. If you connect with your 4-H cooperative extension, if you connect with your cooperative extension, they usually have free copies of the farmer's almanac, the farmer's almanac, which gives you, rich literature on growing. What are some other things that you need to think about? Um, Loan assistant tool. outreach and education, program finders. There's so much, you guys, so much to this. And there are loans specifically for um, conservation reserve, enhancement programs, agricultural risk coverage, minority and women farmers, and rancher loans. Um, yeah, so let's get into it, right? That's the goal. Let's get into growing some food, um, taking greater care, being better stewards over our body by decreasing the amount of harm that we um, put in our mouths. so so yeah, that's all I have today. I hope this information helps, and we need to get you started, especially for those who are interested in starting a agricultural business. I said to you guys yesterday, I left the information for those of you who missed that. Go catch that live. I left all the tools that you'll need to start your health, personal care wellness business, meaning growing the right crops to start your personal care wellness business, and tools that you will need, right? A wish list that you can begin to establish. Because really, at the end of the day, the only tools you need to get started is your telephone and your camera on your telephone, a Google Doc that can get people on your email list to begin teaching them about something that you already do. If you are already making a personal care product, the most important thing is to build relationships about what you are already doing, and a Zoom link where you can have classes, or you can have appointments with people, or a consult with individuals, because you start small and you add on. It's like you don't have to do everything at once. We become, as we grow, we continue to become all the things that's possible for us in our specific industry. So, again, you will hear me talk about a lot of things, but it's going to be related to food, water, energy, and shelter, and in the agricultural space, right? Um, I want to make sure that our people are getting what they need right now to begin to change how you think about food, begin to change how you think about your food sources, begin to change about what's possible when you grow food. And yeah, so, and find your land. Find your land, get shelter. Find the shelter that you need that will also make everything else possible. Okay? Peace and blessings to you all. I had the most amazing time here. And you know what I did forget to do, and I should have. I need to open the camera with that prayers instead of happy birthday, so that I can make sure that we are asking for God's will for our life always, that we are inviting Him into all the things that we are doing as it relates to the kingdom here on earth, because He wants to bless you. He wants to bless you abundantly. And, but He wants us to be free of trying to do it our way. It's freeing doing it His way, and remembering that, will you have to be purged? Will you have to be pruned? Absolutely. Because most of us have walked so far, not by faith, that we have been walking outside of the will of the Father, which means He got to do some pruning and stuff just to get you start producing some flowers, right? To start producing some flowers. And so it's a beautiful thing. The process is, you have to trust. You have to trust the process and bloom where you are. Okay? Trust the process so you can bloom where Dr. Eve, everyone. I hope you have the most amazing day. And whatever you do, don't let anyone get in the way on your journey to becoming who God has called you to become. I hope you have a beautiful Thanksgiving. I may or may not come tomorrow, but I probably will. So, y'all be blessed. And until next time, this is Dr. Eve. Peace.